Hi, Dan Goodstein here with IRPA AI. I'm joined today by Oded Karev. He's the GM of RPA at NICE. Oded, good to see you again.
Hi Dan, how are you doing?
I'm well. It's great to talk with you. So we're talking today about attended automation. Oded, before we start, maybe you could share a little of your background with everyone watching.
Sure. So as you presented, I'm the general manager for NICE Automation Business. Within NICE as an enterprise software portfolio company, this means that I have end-to-end responsibility on anything that is RPA, anything that is robotic, from R&D, product management, marketing, sales, professional services, support, the entire life cycle that we address around robotics with our customer. I've been doing that for I think almost 5 years now since we started working together. So the exciting time of the rise of the RPA market kind of we've been supporting it since its nascency together with IRPA, and it's great to be part of these sessions.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. Well, it's been a wild and exciting few years, right, for all of
Yeah.
us in this space. Maybe that's a good segue to my first question. So, attended automation isn't new, right? But everything is getting more intelligent, right, including attended automation. So what is intelligent attended automation, and why is it the next best thing?
So okay, two parts. Why so intelligence and why is it the next best thing? And I'll start with the first part, which is the intelligent bit. When we say about any software that is now an intelligent automation, intelligent robotics, intelligent attended, intelligent unattended, it just means that we take AI-based components, right, that are out there, and we embed them into the robotic software to enable capabilities that are smarter or better than what we had before. So this makes the robot more intelligent by using artificial intelligence and so on. So it's taking the hype around AI and putting it in the product. They need to be differentiated from regular integration. This is not building an API or a connection to a Microsoft Azure or Amazon Lex or Google Analytics or IBM Watson. The idea is to take a smart component and embed it into the robot. And I can give you a few examples why it is driving attended automation and entire RPA market fast. We have added to Niva, our attended robot, nice employee virtual attendant, the ability to be activated by speech using real-time speech analytics, right? So in a contact center scenario, in a front office scenario, Niva now have the capability to listen to the conversation in real time and then provide guidance or trigger automation based on something that was said in the conversation. So if the customer is mentioning a competitor, you can use the attended robot to bring a retention offering or the next best offering or a competitive insight and
Right.
guide the agent. We have a big healthcare provider in the US where if a customer is calling about his coverage and the liability, every drug that is mentioned, it's trigger for Niva to go to the knowledge management and bring info about the drug and which different healthcare program are covered, right? So that is making the robot more intelligent. The robot now listens to call, monitor them in real time, and help the agent serve the customer better. Another intelligent way we made or we added to attended robot is we added Niva, we equipped her with unsupervised machine learning algorithm to monitor screen activities. How is this used, right? Niva is constantly monitoring the screen, aggregates data, a field that we invented 2 years ago, and we named it task mining. Now it became an industry lingo. But the idea is to, Niva is mining and observing the activities that are being executed by the employee on his desktop, and then running unsupervised machine learning algorithms to identify patterns, routines, processes, volumes, and so on to identify automation opportunities. So it's kind of, if you think of it, robots building robots, right? The robot is monitoring what it's doing and providing recommendation on how the robot can help. So the discovery is not done by the robot. Literally today is a big day for us. Today we announced version 7.4 of a nice advanced process automation platform. And in it, we announced a new capability, which we call click to automate. So Not only that Niva is monitoring the screen, and via the dedicated dashboard, the analyst can see the potential automations. With a click of a button, the recommended automation is created in the nice design environment, which is called the Automation Studio. And from that moment, the automation builder can test it and launch it into production. So one step further into robots, building robots, and a more insightful a way and an easier way to build automation. So all these are kind of examples of how you take AI and integrate into the attended robots to make it smarter and eventually just automate better to our customers. The
Very
second
interesting.
part of your question, sorry, the second part of your question was, why is it the next big thing? And the reason is, again, twofold here. I think that the market started mainly from unattended. These were the low-hanging fruit. It was easier to understand, easier to explain, easier to deploy and maintain, and customers have went in a frenzy to buy and deploy unattended RPA. And I'm not complaining. We enjoyed it the same as the rest of the market. But very fast, you hit a glass ceiling with unattended RPA. You understand that for unattended, the first requirement is a process that can be executed end-to-end by the robot. No human intervention. The moment you need a human intervention, you cannot automate the process. It doesn't fit unattended RPA. How many processes are like that in the process landscape of a large enterprise? When you go in and, with our consulting partners and our own research and our experience, we've seen that in a large enterprise, either because of regulation that demanded someone would look, or system barriers, or security barriers, or customer experience. You just want someone to talk to a customer, or you want a judgment call, or whatever is there. Less than 10% answer the rigid requirements of unattended automation. 7 to 9 to be exact. This means that over 90% of your processes cannot see the benefit of RPA. So customers have went all that trouble by acquiring an RPA software and setting up a COE and training the team and selling the dream of the future automation roadmap and how robots are going to improve so much in the organization. And after 20, 30, 50, 70 unattended robots, they're hitting a glass ceiling. What do I automate next? And the reason attended automation is the next big thing is exactly because of that. On one hand, attended automation can bring value to a lot of these 91%. It doesn't make sense to automate everything, but most of the processes you can find benefits with attended automation. This is one. Two is the maturity of the market. Customers who went through the unattended journey are asking what next. And what next, attended makes most sense because you have the infrastructure and you expand to that. So this is why now attended automation is so hyped, growing so fast, and is the next big thing.
Yeah, and you alluded to it, Oded, but one of the biggest challenges we hear when we speak to members is really achieving this enterprise-wide adoption and scale. So how does attended automation specifically help? Even beyond the human factor, right, that you mentioned, and how are you guys kind of addressing that challenge?
So there are a lot of facets to that. First of all, few of the reasons that organizations are having challenges to scale have nothing to do with the technology, whether it's attended or unattended. It has to do with the vendors and in some cases partners doing overselling and selling dreams on how easy it would be and how fast it would be and how quick the ROI would be. And then reality hits, right? This is an enterprise software product. It's an enterprise software platform. It's not quick and dirty. You don't want to do quick and dirty. You want to test it properly. You want to invest in it properly. You want to bring it to production the right way. And the direct implication of that is that only organizations who invested in a COE, who invested in change management, who invested in putting the right infrastructure, were able to scale. Organization who thought, okay, I'm going to take from a few robots, take a partner, deploy, have 4 or 5 automation, and expect that would scale. These are the organizations that face the challenge. The difference is attended automation doesn't bring value in a landscape of 20 people. You don't see the ROI. Because when you build the automation, you build the same level of effort for 20 people, 100 people, 10,000 people. Our largest client uses it for 40,000 people. A large healthcare provider in the US, 40,000 attended robots. A big telco in the US, we have with 32,000 attended robots. When you think of scale, think of 32,000 robots in a single operation managed from a single application server. You open a dashboard, you see 32,000 robots working, right? It's huge scale. So when you think of attended automation, you think of a large scale organization. You think of a large scale operation. You think of deploying to a large scale operation. You think of change management, of adoption. How would my 1,500 employees, how would, 400 employees, how would they use that? Usually customers start from 3, 4, 500, move to thousands, move to 10,000. But okay, this is going to go to 300, 400 people. How is that going to look? When enterprises buy software that's going to go on 400 desktops, they don't do it haphazardly like they did with few. Let's put one server, let some processes run and be done with it. So the questions of change management, of scale, of monitoring and alerting, of testing properly and deploying, these are questions that are raised and addressed early on in the sales cycle. And it's a tighter alignment. And customers understand you not move something to production without proper testing. Proper testing takes time. It has nothing to do with the software. You can build an automation in 2 days, 3 days. You're still going to take 5 weeks, 4 weeks to test it before you put it to production. You're still going to invest in training and making the people knowledgeable about what's coming and so on. So attended automation by design and through the product characteristic and through the sales cycle is a way, way more scalable solution. When you add to that the uniqueness of what attended automation is doing. Attended automation is doing two things. It automates on the desktop and doing real-time guidance, right? Guidance, something going on the screen, and the attended robot will provide a pop-up. The pop-up can have data coming from knowledge management, from next best action, from upsell opportunities, everything we discussed. But it can be process guidance, how to do stuff, and so on. We use that as part of the change management. So we have the robots giving alerts and employees executing a process. And as part of the change management, Niva would pop up and say, be ready. In 2 weeks, this process is going to be partially automated. In 2 weeks, I can do it for you. In 2 weeks, this process will be automated. And then once the automation live, you don't impose it. You want the automation? I can help you with that. Just press this button. And we still keep locus of control with the employees to launch the automation. And only a few weeks later, we make it completely automatable and completely smooth. But the change management have happened and people are not afraid of the robot. They understand that the robot is there to help them. So change management and using the unique characteristics and the guidance capability of attended automation is also an important part of scaling.
So talk to me about how you advise your clients around actually deploying the RPA in the first place. How much hand-holding do they need, and how much do you try to get them to be more self-sufficient?
So first of all, as a philosophy, I try to get all my customers self-sufficient, right? There is no question that myself as a vendor of a technology provider doesn't want to be a service provider, right? And I tell my customers, you have two choices. Either take a partner to manage it for you, set it up, run it for you as an outsourcing engagement. The partner would be your center of excellence. And a lot of partners offer that. Almost all my partner network will be happy with that type of managed service engagement. Sure. Or invest, hire the people and train them. And then there is a setup cost. There is an investment to be done. But any dollar you put up front, you save $2 further down the line if you don't do that. If you just go and build automation and launch it, you'll face adoption issues, you'll face failures, you'll face scalability issues, and then you start bringing a more expensive partner and you replace the partner and you want the vendor to help you, etc.
Yes, back to the old total cost of ownership issue, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So if you truly want to manage your TCO as a customer, the software cost is actually quite stable. It's quite known upfront. This is how much a robotic license needed. This is the size of your landscape. If it's attended, it's even easier. This is how many employees you have. This is the cost for an attended robot. We'll negotiate, we'll discount, this is it. From that, you can either go with the unknown or say, I need a center of excellence. Center of excellence is going to be 10 FTEs, 8 FTEs, 20 FTEs. Training and setup with NICE or with one of NICE partner usually costs 200 to 300K. I'm done. And after I invested upfront, I have a good, robust COE. I'm now roughly independent. Now, still, you always need SME support and you have some development support, but that's truly marginal. It's an hour here and there that you can pick up the phone and consult an expert. But most of the knowledge is with you. We highly recommend customers to go down that road versus the opportunistic road of, I need to automate these 3 processes, build it for me, or bring me a partner to build just these 3 automation.